Now we are going to solve O-Level Physics 5054 Paper 1 Variant 1 October-November 2014. Today we will solve from question 21 to question number 40. From 1 to 20 we have already solved. Now question number 21. The diagram shows light traveling through a medium. The light reaches the boundary with a vacuum as shown. The light emerges traveling along the surface. What is the refractive index of the medium? Here light is traveling from a medium to vacuum. Now here this ray is called incident ray and the angle in between the incident ray and the normal is called angle of incidence. Now here it is refracted ray. The angle in between the refracted ray and the normal is called angle of refraction. Now for the refractive index, it is a ratio of sine of angle of refraction and sine of angle of incidence. Now here angle of refraction is 90 degree and angle of incidence is 30 degree. So refractive index will be equal to sine 90 over sine 30. You should remember one thing, if light is traveling from vacuum to any medium, then we have to take the ratio in between the sine of angle of incidence and sine of angle of refraction. Whereas if light is traveling from any medium to a vacuum, means from denser to rarer medium, then we have to consider the ratio in between the sine of angle of refraction and sine of angle of incidence. So here light is traveling from denser medium to a rarer medium. That's why we have taken the ratio in between the sine of angle of refraction and sine of angle of incidence. So our answer is sine 90 over sine 30 and it is given in option C. So our correct option is option C. Question number 22. The diagram shows an object on the principal axis of a converging convex lens. A principal focus of the lens is at F. Where is the image formed by the lens? Okay, here we have a converging lens. It is principal focus and object is placed at this point. Now two rays are emerging from the top of the object. The ray that is moving in parallel with the principal axis, after passing the lens, it passes through the focus. And the second ray that is moving toward the center of the lens, after passing the lens, it moves in a straight line without any bend. Now these two rays seems to meet at this point, so the image will be formed at this point. Now the image is formed beyond Q. Now we will check our option where the image formed by the lens. Option A between Q and P, option B between F and Q, option C at Q, option D to the right of Q. Beyond of Q means it is at the right of Q. So our correct option is option D. The image is formed to the right of Q. Yeah, question number 23. A digital camera uses a lens to produce a diminished, reduced in size image on a light sensor. Which row shows the correct type of lens and the nature of the image? Okay, in a camera, we use convex lens and the image form is real and inverted. Okay, we will check here. In camera, we use a convex lens and the image form is real and inverted. Now we will check our option. In option A, it is given. In option A, it is given type of the lens is converging and nature of the image is inverted. Converging means convex lens. So our correct option is option A. Type of lens is converging or a convex lens. Nature of the image is inverted. Question number 24. Which application uses microwave? Option A. Detecting small cracks in metal. Option B. Gaining a suntan. C. Lighting a fluorescent tube. Option D. Satellite television. It is used in satellite television. In the topic of electromagnetic spectrum, we have studied that microwaves are used in mobile phones, TV and communications, in satellite, telephone links, etc. So our correct option is satellite television. Question number 25. a star explodes in outer space, which wave from the exploding star do not reach the Earth? Option A infrared, option B light, option C radio, option D sound. Here option A, B and C. All these three rays are electromagnetic waves, and electromagnetic waves can travel in vacuum, whereas only the sound wave is here that do not travel in vacuum. So our correct option is option D. Sound will not reach to Earth because of the vacuum. Question number 26. A metal bar PQ hangs from a thin thread and always comes to rest with end P pointing north. Another bar XY of the same metal settles in no definite direction. Here it is given PQ hangs from a thin thread and always comes to rest with end P pointing north. It means it is a permanent magnet, whereas the second one is a temporary magnet. Now we will read our option. What is asked here? What happens if the two bars are brought near one another? Option A and P and Q both attract X. Yes, it is correct option. Here XY is a temporary magnet and PQ it is a permanent magnet. In permanent magnet P represent north and Q represent south. When we bring this temporary magnet near the permanent magnet, both the poles, north pole and south pole, both the poles will attract this temporary magnet. So our correct option is option A, and P and Q both attracts and X. Question number 27. The diagram shows a 12-volt DC power supply connected across a coil with a metal core. The core becomes a magnet when the current is switched on. It remains a magnet after the current is switched off. From which metal is the core made? To make a permanent magnet, we use steel, and to make a temporary magnet, we use soft iron. It is given here it remains a magnet after the current is switched off. It means it is a permanent magnet. So it should be from steel. Now we will check the options. In option D, it is given steel, so our correct option is option D. Question number 28. With component X placed in the circuit below, the brightness of the lamp can be gradually reduced until it goes out. What is the component X? If we want to decrease the brightness of the lamp, we have to decrease the voltage of the lamp. To decrease the voltage of the lamp, we have to increase the voltage of this component X. Why? Because here EMF supplied or voltage of the battery is constant. So if we increase the voltage of X, voltage across this lamp will be reduced, and with the reduction in voltage, the brightness of the lamp will also be reduced. Now how we can increase the voltage of this component X? Here we have to use a variable resistor. Because we have studied according to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. With the increase in voltage, resistance increases. So here we will use variable resistor. We will increase the resistance. With the increase in resistance, voltage across this X will be increased, and with the increase in voltage across X, voltage across the lamp will be decreased, and with the decrease in voltage across the lamp, the brightness of the lamp will also be decreased. So here what component we have to use? We have to use a variable resistor. Now we will check our options. Same thing is given in option D, a variable resistor. So our correct option is option D. Question number 29. Which circuit is connected correctly to measure the current in a fixed resistor and the potential difference across the same resistor? Here we have two resistors. One is fixed resistor and second is variable resistor, and we have to find out the voltage across the fixed resistor, and also we have to find out the current across this fixed resistor. Now here we are looking that we have only one path for the flow of electrical current, so current will be same at all the points. So ammeter can be connected at any point. For the voltmeter, we have to find out the voltage of this fixed resistor. So voltmeter should be connected in parallel with this resistor. Now here voltmeter is connected in series, so this option is incorrect. Here this voltmeter is connected in parallel but with both the resistors, so this is also incorrect because we have to find out the voltage across only this resistor. So this voltmeter should be connected only with this fixed resistor. So option B is also not possible. Now option C is correct option. Here voltmeter is connected in parallel with the fixed resistor and ammeter is connected in series. So our correct option is option C. In D, ammeter is connected in parallel and voltmeter is connected in series. It is wrong. So our correct option is option C. Question number 30. The diagram shows a current carrying wire in a horizontal magnetic field. Which arrow shows the direction of the force experiencing by the wire? Okay, here we have to use the right hand rule, right hand grip rule. When we grip this conductor in our right hand, the first finger will represent the direction of the magnetic field, second finger will represent the direction of the flow of electrical current, and thumb will represent the direction of the resultant force. Now here, if we apply the right hand grip rule, then we can easily conclude that B is the direction of the resultant force. So our correct option is option B. One thing you should remember here, that in right hand grip rule, for the current we use conventional current. Conventional current means current because of the flow of positive charges. If the current is because of the negative charges, then the direction will be opposite. Suppose if it is the direction because of the conventional current, then if the current is because of the electron, then we have to consider the opposite direction. Okay, so here correct answer is option B. Question number 31. The diagram shows a DC motor with its coil horizontal. Why a split ring commutator used? The reason to use the split ring commutator in electric motors is to reverse the direction of the current when the coil is in vertical position. So it is given here in the option B to change the current direction in the coil as the coil passes the vertical position. So our correct option is option B. Question number 32. Which graph shows the voltage output of an AC generator when the coil makes one complete revolution? In AC generator, when there is a complete one revolution, there is half positive cycle and half negative cycle. So here it is shown in option D that here we have one half positive cycle, then half negative cycle. So it is complete wave that is generated in an AC electrical generator. So our correct option is option D. Question number 33. An electric current flows through a thin metal filament in a vacuum. The filament emits particles. Which particle is emitted and what is its charge? Okay, in cathode ray experiment, we have studied that from metal filament electrons are emitted and electrons carry negative charge. So our correct option is option A. Particle emitted is electron and the charge on the electron is negative, and it is given in option A. So our correct option is option A. Question number 34. In the circuit shown, resistor X and Y acts as a potential divider to control the speed of a motor. What is the reason for the potential divider? Here this X, it is a variable resistor. If we increase the resistance of this resistor, then voltage will also be increased because according to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. So increasing the resistance, voltage will be increased. If we increase the voltage, of this X, then voltage across Y will be decreased, because here total EMF, total voltage of the battery is constant. So if this voltage is increased, then other will be decreased. Now if this voltage Y will be decreased, then voltage across the motor M will also be decreased, because this motor M is connected in parallel with Y. So if voltage across the resistor Y is increased, then voltage across the motor will be increased, and if the voltage across the resistor Y is decreased, then the voltage across the motor will also be decreased. Now we will check our options. In option C, it is given to vary the potential difference across the motor. Yes, we can use this potential divider to vary the potential difference across the motor. So our correct option is option C. Question number 35. In the circuit shown, R is a light dependent resistor. The resistance decreases when the intensity of the light shining on it increases. The light intensity on R increases. Here we are increasing the intensity of light. With the increase in intensity of light, resistance will be decreased. Now according to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. So with the decrease in resistance, voltage will also be decreased. So here voltage is decreasing. When the voltage will be decreased here, then voltage across this L2 will be increased. Because here total voltage of LDR plus voltage of L2 is equal to EMF of the battery. EMF of the battery is constant. So if one voltage is decreasing, then other voltage will be increased. So voltage across L2 will be increased. When the voltage across L2 will be increased, it will be more bright, or we can say brightness of this L2 will be increased. Whereas brightness of L1, there will be no change, because this LDR is connected across L2. This L1 is connected in parallel with this battery. So for L1, there will be no change in the voltage. When there is no change in the voltage, there will be no effect on the brightness. So for the L1, there will be no change in the brightness, and for L2, it will be more bright. Now we will check our option. In option D, it is given for L1 stays the same, means its brightness do not change. For L2, its brightness increases. It will be more bright. So our correct option is option D. Question number 36. Why is a reed relay used in a switching circuit? Option A, to switch on a small current using a large current. No. Option B, to switch on a small voltage using a large voltage. No. Option C, to switch on a large current using a small current. Yes, it is the correct option. In D, it is given to switch on a large voltage using a large current. Our correct option is option C, to switch on a large current using a small current. How we do this one? It is a magnetic relay. Here we supply electrical current. It is a soft iron core. When we pass the current, this soft iron core becomes a electromagnet, and when it becomes electromagnet, it will pull this iron armature. When it will pull this iron armature, it will move down. When it will move down, it will move here on the right hand side. When it will move to the right hand side, it will come in contact with this one. When it will come in contact with this one, the circuit will be completed, and this electrical motor will start to run. So here, with the help of small current, we are switching on this electrical motor that is working on a heavy electrical current. So reed relay is used to switch on a large current using a small current. So our correct option is option C. Question number 37. Three types of radiation emitted by unstable nuclei are electrons, helium nuclei, and electromagnetic radiation. What are these types of radiation? Okay, in the topic of radioactivity, we have studied that radioactive substance emit out three types of radiations, and these radiations are alpha, beta and gamma. Alpha radiations are positively charged, beta are negatively charged, whereas gamma has no charge. Now, here it is given electrons. Electrons means negatively charged. Negatively charged are beta particles. So for electrons, we can say that they are identical to beta particles. So we can say beta particles are identical to electrons. Here it is given helium nuclei. Alpha particles are positively charged and nucleus has protons. Protons have positive charge. So we can say alpha particles are identical to helium nuclei. And gamma rays have no charge and also no mass. They are just electromagnetic radiation. So gamma rays are electromagnetic radiations and it is given in option C. So our correct option is option C. Question number 38. The energy emitted by the sun is released when the nuclei of an element fuse together. Fuse together means fusion. Which nuclei, when fusing together, release most of the energy in the sun? Okay, in the sun, it is assumed that the reaction taking place is fusion, and this fusion is taking place in between two hydrogen atoms. So in option C, it is given hydrogen. So our correct option is hydrogen, that is given in option C. So correct option is option C. Question number 39. A sample of wood contains 9 into 10 power 16 nuclei of carbon 14. The nuclei undergoes radioactive decay with a half-life of 5,600 years. How many carbon 14 nuclei remains in this sample after 16,800 years? For half-life, we have a formula minus 0.693 into T divided by log into N over N naught, where this T is total time period, this N is final number of nuclei, this N naught is initial number of nuclei. Now here half-life is given 5600, this T total time is 16800, this N, this is final number of nuclei that we have to find out. This N naught is initial number of nuclei that is given here 9 into 10 power 16. So by solving this one, we will get the answer N is equal to 1.125 into 10 power 16 nuclei. And it is given in option B 1.1 into 10 power 16. So our correct option is option B. Question number 40. How many nucleons are in one neutral atom of krypton isotope 3684? Okay, nucleons means total number of proton and neutron. Here this 36, it is called proton number. So here number of proton is 36. This 84 is called nucleon number. So total nucleons are 84 here and it is given in option C. So our correct option is option C. Okay, today we have completed 5054 paper 1 variant 1 October November 14. Thank you very much.